Big up, guys. My name's Theo, but I mix and produce and DJ under the name Sepia. I've flown out from Bristol, UK, all the way to fucking beautiful sunny New Zealand, which to me is a madness because dubstep started as a very, very small, tight-knit community in South London. That's where it got built back in 2004. So for it to even reach the side of the globe and be going this many years later and having events like this, which is purely grassroots, there's no funding, there's no big backers, it's an incredible thing, man. Like, you could have just booked a bunch of locals, you ended up bringing 2 UK cunts over. So for me, that means the absolute world. And I get to meet all these beautiful people that keep the scene alive, which is what half this community is about. It's not even just the music, it's a vibe and the sense of belonging that you bring with so many people from walks of life that usually get disregarded or unheard. Like, I think people need to look into that a bit more than just the music side or just the club side or just the party side as well.
So being here, like, how does it feel? You're in all the way across the ocean in the corner of the world, and to see a community built like this, seeing the sound system, the people involved, like, what is that feeling for you coming from the UK where the scene is very big?
Bro, I'll be honest, I've been here a couple times, but still didn't even realise like the pure demographic of how many hand-built systems and communities there are in New Zealand. Because obviously this is a very tiny island all the way on the other side of the world. That's, you know, it takes a lot to bring shit in. How the fuck they've even got half of these boxes and drivers over to the country and how much it costs it blows my mind, let alone how many people are doing it and all these systems are popping up, and parties like this where it's in a tiny little part fucking an hour away from Auckland, which is a main city, yet this is the most popping bit, not even Auckland. So for me it blows my mind, but also gives me hope that the new generation are trying to carry that on for the next generation and for themselves. And like, that alone is fucking incredible, because I know people in the UK that ain't even bothering to do this, man. They're just doing clubs and getting quick money, and fuck that.
Speaking of which, so in terms of the UK scene and seeing kind of the new gen artists, like, let's say for example Humvee.
Yeah.
I think, artists like that who are kind of going for a bit more of a commercial style still attract people to dubstep? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a really, really fucking good question. And I love Hamdy's bits, absolutely no shade on him. But I feel like when people like that come through, obviously he's been doing bits for a little while, but he mainly came from bassline and garage and that. And he has definitely pushed dubstep into a place where people ain't seen before, because a lot of the new generation, especially from, we were in lockdown for a couple of years, weren't we? New Zealand probably wasn't, but UK was definitely in it for two and a half years. So all the people that were getting into electronic music, mind you, there's people that have just started uni in a lockdown, so they're doing classes online. They've never experienced a club. They ain't heard the sound system, so they don't even know what dubstep's meant to sound or feel like. So they'll start getting into like house and garage and jump up. Hamdy fucking took it places, man. Like, he made dubstep approachable for people that were a bit scared of it before. And I think that's a really, really good thing. But then also on the same side, like, where he's got so big and that kind of sound's got so big, people disenfranchise themselves from it because they think you have to be underground and all of this. But fuck that, just be what you want to be, listen to what you want to listen to. No one's going to judge you for what scene you're in. Like, Hamdy, for instance, he's a legend in drum and bass, in footwork, in dubstep, in techno. He's making everything. And I think if everyone just be them real selves and let themselves free and explore loads of genres, they'll feel a lot happier. Because, like, it's meant to be a sense of community, not gatekeeping. But yeah, there's definitely two sides. He's done absolute bits. But then I reckon people just need to be more open-minded instead of hearing it dubstep as a dirty word because of what Skrillex used to be or that sick Borg or whatever. Like, end of the day, even if it's not the kind of dubstep you like, it's all still music, it's all still dubstep. There's no point shitting on anyone. If you don't like it, just find someone else you do like.
Alright, so part 2 of the controversial question. I'm sorry for hitting you with these, but they're pretty good. It's what are your thoughts on the American scene and how it's affected kind of the image of dubstep? Because now you see a lot of people, especially recently, how they switched the name from dubstep to 140 to kind of differentiate themselves from the American.
So glad. I'm so glad you asked that. I'm going to break it down in a couple points. First off, it's not fucking 140, it's dubstep. Say it loud and proud. Any of them pussies that are saying it's 140, they've never been from dubstep and they don't appreciate the culture that we built. I'll never be ashamed to say dubstep because that's what it is. And the American scene is a bit of a weird one because I've toured there quite a lot, and the first years it was really strange because like I'd be going from playing a 250 cap venue in fucking Brixton in London, going to America, touring with Truth and playing like these fucking kind of mini stadium type things, and it's just weird, bro. Like lights, theatrics, all of this, no fucking bass, no sub, and just loads of ketted out people in the crowd. But now, fast forward a few years later, they've gone back and done the research on what the community was and what dubstep was, and now they're all going back underground. It's like, it's gone full circle. America out-Americaned themselves, and now they've gone underground, and they're playing loads of deep stuff. They're playing garage after it's taken 20 years for garage to reach the United States. They're finally into garage, so as much as what did happen in 2009 to 12 with the whole bro step thing was bad, one, it did bring new audiences. Yes, it went in a bad direction, but it's now gone full circle, so we can't really fault it. Like, at least they've gone back to actually seeing where the roots came from, and that's all you could ask for. Like, even if I don't agree where a scene's gone, if you at least acknowledge and respect the history, do what you want with it, but just always acknowledge like what it was and where it came from before just bastardizing it.
Although a lot of people comment negatively about bro step, whether it be like the kind of commercially dubstep, it all is like would you say it's all like almost like an invitation into the deeper genres, all
Bro,
the categories?
Yeah, 100%. Like, even look at drum and bass. Like, remember when jump up was really big? Then everyone's like, I haven't actually got the energy to be fucking skanking to jump up for 6 hours a night. And they started getting into liquid and autonomic D-bridges type stuff. And it got everyone to look back on the genre rather than just focusing on the thing that's blowing up and making loads of hype. So it's good that people are actually looking back now. And it's the same with dubstep. Like, yeah, the bro stuff's still very much alive, heavy and dominant over there, and people playing fucking 10,000 cap stadiums. But I've seen all these like smaller artists or smaller venues and events pop up, and they're the ones that are bringing it in, man. They're doing bits for the community, and they're finally getting sound system culture in America as well. Last time I went, I played on like 3 hand custom built systems, which didn't happen the first 7 times I went there. So it's definitely going in a good direction now. It just took a little bit of time.
You almost feel like, because I've talked to a lot of people and almost get the feeling that dubstep is on, at least the 2008 onwards, the newest kind of dubstep is on the rise and almost would eventually topple drum and bass because of the new introductions of people, teams, sound systems, different cues and clicks all across the world too.
100%, and I've definitely seen it because I fucking love drum and bass, but say, for instance, jungle is more close to dubstep because of the community it brought and like how grassroots it was. Drum and bass, when you got pop singers on drum and bass now and fucking Taylor Swift remixes of drum and bass and all of that, whereas dubstep and jungle, they both had a little bit of a commercial side, but it got straight brought back down because the people weren't feeling it, and they got the power back in their own community and made it their own. So I think, yeah, I reckon right now, in certain areas, dubstep is definitely more popular than drum and bass, but New Zealand and UK, for instance, they're both very similar, and jump up and garage is at the forefront of everything at the moment, but that's only commercially. For vibe-wise, hand-built systems, like really good grassroots venues and events, dubstep and jungle are at the forefront, because most drum and bass artists, like I'm going to name 10. You can't even see them in under a fucking 5k cap venue. Chase the Status, Andy C, Boo, all the Born on Road. Like, none of them I'd be able to see over here or in England in like a tiny venue. Whereas dubstep, you can see Mala's playing at Volks, which is a tiny club in Brighton on the seafront, 300 cap max. Komodo, all of them lot play tiny clubs, then they go do festivals and big ones. Whereas in D&B and that, I find once they reach a certain level, they ain't going back down because their fees go down, everything goes down, and they're just used to having a certain amount of passive income. Whereas for us, it's like, brother, it ain't ever been about the money. You make fuck all off dubstep, mate. I still work as a chef, and I tour pretty much full-time and chef full-time. But I do it because if I didn't write music and play it, it's like therapy to me, man. I need to connect with people. I need a sense of belonging, and I need to let some shit off my chest. So that's why I make music, and that's why a lot of these people do the same thing. And that's the whole community side. And same as the people that come here, they're looking for a sense of belonging and to fuel their passion as well. And I think in big clubs and like really big stadiums and all those commercial labels, they ain't going to find that because they don't resonate with it either. It makes no sense to them. So yeah, I think it's definitely coming back to the forefront.
And UK scene, because you are from the UK. Born
Yeah,
and bred there.
yeah, yeah.
So have you lived there your entire life?
Yeah, I was born in London. I've lived in Brighton, Bournemouth, Isle of Wight, fucking all over London, and now Bristol for the last 10 years. And I've seen it grow, change, swift, but it's always fundamentally kept underground.
So what got you into dubstep living in the UK? Would you say it was a lot of grime and or was it even before that?
It was pirate radio. I was listening to, I can't remember what station it was. It might have been Rinse or React or Nasty FM. Like this was really early 2000s. Like, mind you, I still am, but back then I was like heavily into my punk, emo, metal, playing in bands and that. And I just put the radio on in my room one day and just heard these sounds. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then eventually, a few months after that, came across a party in the woods like this, but not on this scale. It was fucking dodgy. But there was a guy playing, I think he's playing Goat Stare by Loafer in their Midnight Request line. And I'd have been 16 at the time, 2006, and I just heard it through the system and felt it. And I was like, I've never felt anything like that in my life, and I just want to chase whatever the fuck that is. Didn't know what it was at the time either. So like, whatever that is, I need a bit of that. And then, yeah, downloaded a copy of Fruity Loops, bought loads of records, used my dad's old fucking belt drive turntables on top of an ironing board to learn how to mix, and then started playing the fucking outdoor parties myself, and eventually pubs, clubs, then got into making music, then networked with people, and then 16 years later, here I am in New Zealand, which fucking is a spin out, bro.
Does it feel like quite surreal to be like I said, like it's not like it's sure people say, oh, you're just in New Zealand, whatever, but it's like you're halfway across the world, you've got like no family, friends here, but yeah.
Bro, to me, this is the very definition of making it. When people say I've made it, they're counting it on how getting 1 million Spotify streams or being on that $2,000 fee set each time. For me, if there's even one person in the crowd, even in my hometown, let alone in a fucking other country, that resonates with my music, I feel amazing. To be flown this far away for people that want to hear my shit blows me away, and I just feel incredibly lucky. And for me, that's I could fucking retire now and feel like I've achieved everything I wanted to, man. But I've got a lot more to write and say, and a lot more people I want to meet, and a lot more world I want to see. So I'm not ever stopping.
So do you produce yourself?
Yeah, man. Yeah, been producers since I was 16, 17. The old ones were shit. I'm saying it on camera now. Don't even try to find them, because they're probably, I hope they're not online. But from 2010, 11 onwards, they got all right. And then now I'm happy with them.
So would you say you know a lot of producers around the world?
Yeah.
Well versed in them. If you had to recommend, let's say, your top 5 that people should like look up for, this is the new age, new up and coming, the new style.
Absolutely top of my list right now is my friend from Wellington called Dusty. Well, that's 2 people, but I know Lucas very well. We're both actually on the same label, and we've actually been chatting for years. We finally met, and I've been playing his tunes for years. Now we're getting in the studio next week, but he's making the most interesting dubstep to me at the moment. It's just so many different styles and flavours, and how the fuck he's even got that kind of influence from those sounds this side of the world when people even in my country ain't making that is nuts. Second one, it's not, well, his new alias is up and coming. He used to be called Mr. K, but now it's Hijinks. He's making the meanest, I can't even describe what genre he is. He does all genres, but Hijinks is a boy. Jevon Ives, he's part of Day 2, but he's got a new alias called Nina, making some really obscure stuff. And then I'd have to say Block Lab. I can't remember what country they're from. They might be from Russia, somewhere in Eastern Europe. And a guy called Tracker as well, who's really, really good. And then I obviously need to shout out a couple more of my New Zealand Donnies. A guy called Ashes, absolutely amazing. Chunga, fucking boy. And fuck yeah, I'm discovering stuff every day and being blown away and being like, I'll make a tune that day, it gets sent some by them. I'm like, delete my one. Your one's way better. Yeah. But then we all just fucking hung out and collab, and that inspires me, inspires them, and that's how the scene grows. People, yeah, that's another thing. People need to collab more. Collab with, even if it's someone you don't know, fucking collab, man. That's how you learn how to do things and like how to network your way in the scene and fucking just have your own kind of community, and that's really important.
Speaking of, you mentioned, I've written the name already. Mr. K.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Mr. K.
Yeah, innit?
Discography on fucking. I listen to it all the time. I love it.
Yeah, trust.
Speaking of him, the White Peach label.
Yeah.
So labels, I feel like, play the biggest part when it comes to dubstep because
Oh, they do.
unlike other music genres where labels have a very negative connotation, in dubstep especially, online, anywhere you talk to anyone, it seems that there's a lot of love for labels. And
There is.
you said, what label are you signed to?
I'm on a few. I'm on Infernal Sounds, System, Deep Dark and Dangerous. Fuck, what else have I been on? Concept, Green King Cuts. Don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm going to anyway. I've got something coming on 1985 with Chesco, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, labels do play the most important part because, well, one of the most. Because if you think about it, in terms music-wise, dubstep is still the smallest kind of genre. Because like, there's not major labels in dubstep, whereas in house, drum and bass, fucking techno, everything else, there is majors, there's mid-tier ones, and like they've just got everything. They've got managers, they've got whole teams behind them. Dubstep is still very much grassroots DIY. Even the labels, they're not majors. They're one guy with a warehouse and a pressing plant, pressing 500 records, probably getting into mad debt because he's got 2 tunes that he really likes for someone's, and he's putting his financial risk onto them. But no, he's taking a financial risk signing them, but it fucking pays off because so many people buy it and love it. And like, you think about you guys in Australia who have to pay the shipping for these records. The shipping costs more than the record, but you cunts are buying 10 at a time. That to me is mental. So yeah, the labels, of course they're loved because they're the ones that are enabling us to get our tunes off of complete just SoundCloud and Bandcamp and across the world, and they're super important.
And would you say, for example, deep MIDI music and labels like that who have been around for ages, do you feel like they kind of put the foundations down for newer labels to be like, oh, we can also do this?
100%, because if you look at old MIDI, they'd have a certain amount of artists on at a time. So there'd be multiple Scream records, multiple Silky, Comestar, Benga, Quest, etc. Whereas now they're signing loads of new gen dons and new people. And other labels have looked at it and been like, yeah, I don't just need to sign a name, I just need to sign what I think is a vibe and want to hear and the artist I want to push. And now that's started happening, and yeah, you see people that have literally got fucking 30 followers on SoundCloud now got a record out, and that's boosted them, and it's fucking amazing to hear because half the tunes I find are random people from around the world off SoundCloud. It's not, I'm not even looking at like known artists anymore because I know what their sounds like. No offense to them, I love it, but I just want something new that excites me and gets me back to how I was when I first heard the genre. And that's what the new gen are doing, and that's why I love all the labels at the moment, because they're championing all the new people, and that needs to continue massively.
And then for the final question, just a quick send-off. Just a little message to people who have not experienced dubstep, who haven't experienced community, who haven't experienced electronic music. What is kind of your message to them?
You need to get yourself off your phones, out of clubs, and find little bush doofs, little things in warehouses, art galleries, house parties, anything, or even a tiny club which a local has put on, because they're pushing music you've not heard before, you haven't experienced before, and you can't just sit on Spotify and listen to one of those songs, then judge it off that. Like, to feel electronic music in general, but especially dubstep on a system, it's a transcendent feeling. Like, I can't even put it, I'm getting choked up thinking about it. I can't even put into words the feeling you get when you feel the bass pulsate through you and everyone in the room lose their shit, or outside lose their shit and hugging each other, sense of community, everyone's dancing and just being themselves and being totally free. You don't get that in a club surrounded by 4 walls, people looking at you, judging you, being fucking weird. Here, and especially outdoor and grassroots events and communities, you get to fully be yourself, meet people from all walks of life that you usually probably wouldn't even acknowledge or talk to, and it's amazing. You just let your guard down and everyone is friends. Even without meeting, everyone here is here for the same reason, so you're automatically family and friends, and then you actually become family and friends. So for me, that's the most important thing. Get out your house, get out the clubs, get off your phone and go to your local community and support your local sound systems. Big up, guys. Much love. Fuck yeah, that was fucking wicked.
Amazing, man. I honestly, like,
Yes.